Is Disney gonna buy out Activision? Let's talk about it.
No!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I am back with a bit of a different video than what I normally cover. So there's been a piece of news from the Bloomberg magazine floating around that people have been losing their lids over. See, the news was chalked up to simply Disney wants to buy Activision, which in turn includes the Crash and Spyro IPs. So is this it? Is our orange nutbag and purple boy about to get Mickey Mouse ears slapped under their heads like mindless drones to become the corporate milk bags, to be milked dry till there's nothing left and then cast aside? Actually, I strongly doubt it. Here's why. People have been losing their heads, but there is a bunch of past information being ignored and even current information just being glazed over. People are reading only the headlines and running around like the world is over. But when you actually read most of the articles that cover this story, you realize that the statement of Disney wants to buy Activision has some, well, holes in it. So let's go over to make sure that the story is actually crystal clear. Recently, Activision stock has slowly been declining over the past year since October 2018. This makes sense as Call of Duty Black Ops 4 did not do as well as investors wanted. Activision also only has 3 active IPs at the moment under their belt, those being Crash, Spyro, and Call of Duty. They also have merged with Blizzard, who has been under fire from the last BlizzCon, as well as there being a lack of brand new games and brand new content.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
So it makes sense that the stocks have been pretty low. But with the stocks this low, the company has potential to be bought out as the value of the stocks and the company have been overall lowered. An investor by the name of Nick Licorice, who works for a firm called Gerber Kawasaki, thinks that a multi-billion-dollar company could come along and buy Activision. The company that he thinks would benefit the most and who could probably be able to afford it would be Disney. He goes on to explain how Disney has not been in the gaming scene themselves for a while, and they could simply take an already established company in the gaming market. Disney would also gain access to one of the biggest esports markets because of Call of Duty and Overwatch, both being huge contenders in the esports space. So if you haven't read in between the lines yet, Disney has not once expressed any form of interest in buying Activision, and Activision has not expressed any form of interest in being bought or merging with Disney. It was an investor from an entirely different company who thinks this is a great opportunity for a company to take over Activision. And they thought the perfect fit would be Disney to take over. So this whole idea that Disney is interested in buying out Activision is completely false at the moment with the information that we currently have. On top of that, if you looked recently at Disney's official statements about their involvement in video games, they actually are okay with what they're doing now. In an earnings call with Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney, he commented on the fact of EA having the Star Wars publishing rights. He said, quote, "We're good at making movies and television shows and theme parks and cruise ships and the like. We've just never managed to demonstrate much skill on the publishing side of games. We're obviously mindful of the size of that business. Over the years, as you know, we've tried our hand at self-publishing. We've bought companies, we've sold companies, we've bought developers, we've closed developers. And we found over the years that we haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side. But we've been great at the licensing side, which obviously doesn't require that much allocation of capital, since we're allocating capital in other directions. We've just decided that the best place for us to be in that space is licensing and not publishing. We've had good relationships with some of those we're licensing too, notably EA and the relationship on the Star Wars properties, and we're probably going to stay on that side of the business and put our capital elsewhere." So with what the CEO of Disney is saying here, along with the stupid rumor that the fact that Disney is interested in buying Activision stems from an investor from a firm that is not owned or associated with Disney to my knowledge, I heavily doubt that Disney will be touching anything to do with Activision. Now, of course, money changes minds, and what Mr. Bob Iger said could be tossed out the window if they reevaluate it and think they'll make mass money. But in all honesty, I think it's safe to say that Crash nor Spyro won't be donning the Mickey Mouse ears anytime soon. By the way, a huge shout out to my Patreons and sponsors on the channel. I appreciate your support and letting me be able to do this full time, as I got a family to feed. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon is in the description below, and be sure to subscribe for more nostalgic content. And while you're at it, why not check out another video I recently made? Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.